Hello everybody. Hopefully this works this time. I'm trying to figure this stuff out. So let's see what's going on here. This is my first live stream, so I'm trying. There we go.
Hello, everybody.
There we go.
Hopefully this works.
You don't need to hear that. Awesome. Okay. Let's get you over here so I can see if anybody's joining. And I will wait for a few minutes and see if we get some other people joining other than me. Somebody's on. Say hi, whoever it is. How are we doing today? Awesome. All right. We got 4 watching. I'm going to try to adjust the camera so it's not blinding in your face with those lights behind me. That looks a little better. Perfect. Hey, Richard, how you doing? Awesome. Fantastic. I hope that I don't lose you guys today. I just got Starlink this week, so I'm able to finally do these live streams. But of course, it's been beautiful and sunny all week, and I've been getting like incredible speeds. And today it's pouring rain, so let's really hope that this works. If you can see any way to improve this, let me know in the comments. As I said, first live stream, so hopefully it goes good. Behind me here, you can see all the parts of the Brookside mansion. If you don't know about this project, I was commissioned by the husband of the Dean of St. Francis University in Indiana to do this building, and eventually it's going to be on display inside the mansion. So that's really exciting, and I'm going down to Brick World with it, and I get to tour the mansion. So super awesome stuff. So I'm going to go through now, and I'm going to take you through the assembly. I can see the chat and everything, so if you have a question while I'm going, I'll keep coming back and forth to this, and yeah, we can give a conversation and I'll take whatever questions you have. One thing before I start, this table is not perfectly level, so you'll notice when I'm putting the building down there might be some bigger gaps. I don't even know if you're going to see it in the live stream, but I'll definitely notice it in person. But we'll work with what we got. All right. So there's 17 sections in all with the mansion, and it took me a couple of test fits to finally figure out which ways were the best. And I will tell you that all of these sections are heavy, and if you want to see a grown AFOL section at the back, so there's quite an angle back here, and that took some figuring out. It's just some hinges back there to make it happen, and then the back end floats, so I don't have to be too concerned about where its location is. And then this is going to form the first part of the pergola section and the big porch that's in the back. So all the connections that I made for this building are Technic connections, and initially I had them that they were really just absolutely too tight. I was trying to fit in like 6 or 8 pins, and I realized that 2 pins will do. And trying to fit in so many connections was a real liability. So if you're doing a big build like that, kind of less is more is the trick. Okay, so that one slides in really easy. This section here I had to do a lot of redesign. So all these, like the main structure of all of these is Technic on the inside. I don't know if you guys can see that, can you? But all through here is Technic structure, and this particular porch was really tricky to figure out because it had to support these roofs up here as well. So I used some staircase pieces, and I actually used some flex tube to connect them all together because there was no other way to connect these. So that gives it enough support that like these roofs won't budge at all now. So that was something I actually did on the fly. Kind of one of those things between designing digitally and building in real bricks. You just can't account for everything digitally. This one's a bit of a trick to get in as well. There's a couple of clips on the inside, and it can take a little bit of work to get it to click, especially when the table's uneven. There's one side, and there's the other. Okay. And then we want to get this roof just to settle just nice. So I redesigned this roof again. I've been fiddling with this section a lot. I'm still not 100% happy with how it falls. So I'm going to do some more work here and just rearranging the slopes and everything. Trying to get it to just set down perfectly. Now we need the stairs that go here. And if I can find them, there's a lot of pieces here. So I'm just going to keep going, and then once I find the steps, I'll put them in place. Here is the front section, and this doesn't line up exactly perfect with this one. It's offset a little bit in. So again, like everything else, it's a bit of a trick to slide it in. So I have these guide pins, if you can see from there. If you want me to get closer, let me know. I can just move the tripod. So we will come in, and you can see that the table is really wonky here. So it's kind of a little bit of a trick to get it lined up right. It's not terrible to assemble, but these Technic joints are really fidgety. I think if I was going to do a similar building again, everything would be done with clips. It's just to make it easier to assemble. And yeah, it's just because the tilt in the table is making it so that it's uneven. It's being a bit of a pain right now. All right. Plan B. I'm going to take the pins out and just slide it in place so we can actually get moving on it. There we go. So it does sit, like it doesn't really need the pins to hold it together. It does sit pretty well like that. So I can leave it for now because I just want to get you guys to see how big this building actually is. Okay, so then we have a couple sections in front here. So these two are actually the two parts that I started on with the building. This one is all the fancy filigree work and everything. So I wanted to get this scale down before I started working on the rest of the building because I knew there was going to be a lot of detail. So when I started this, yeah, it became much bigger than I initially anticipated. So initially it was going to be maybe a quarter of the size of this, and as I got all the detail in, I realized there was no way to capture everything and have it at that scale. So that's why it ended up being such a huge model. And my cat's at my feet right now trying to get attention. All right. So again, this is another tricky connection. This roof lifts up and this slides down and in. And then we have more Technic pins to try to fit in the back. And because we're on that edge of the table, it's going to make everything much more difficult. It would be nice if I had a piece of plywood that was big enough to go under this. Actually, you know what I'll do? I'll just slide that out since that's not pinned in right now. And that will make it easier to get all the pins in. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Small piece. Yeah, this. See how it's just popping in and out? It's because the table is so wonky right now. It is really hard to get it to line up right. There we go. Okay, perfect. If anybody was wondering how I did these arches and all that throughout the building, I used, I have some right on hand, the round 1x2 plates, and I just connected them into a chain, and then on the outside I just added the corner tiles and then those quarter round tiles, and it created the shape for it. Now we're on to the big tower. There's a let's grab this. So initially this was just going to be a display piece. Oh, I lost the window. These are the moments of live where things don't work out properly. So initially this was just going to be a display piece, so I wasn't 100% worried about it being super strong, and then I was informed that it might be traveling quite a bit. So there's a lot of things here that I need to make sure are very stable. So I might actually, well, I will be gluing some of this. Especially driving it down to Indiana is going to be quite an adventure, and I hope that there's not too much repairs by the time I get there. And let's see on this. So this clicks in again in the back with a Technic pin. There we go. Okay. We're getting there. Thanks, Richard. Yeah, it's one of these creations that when I finished it and stepped back, I couldn't actually believe that I had designed it. So, yeah, if this doesn't prove that you can do anything you set your mind to, I really don't know what does. All right. So this section here, maybe I'll turn the camera a bit. See if you can see me. There we go. This section here. Oh. Maybe I'll turn the camera a bit. You don't need to hear me. There we go. This overhang goes underneath the roof on this side. And that was the only way I could manage to get that to fit properly. And it's actually really, really stable. You would think it would have a lot of play in it, but it has no play at all. Okay, so we're going over another bump in the table right now. So that's going to cause some issues. And trying to fit this in. Yeah, this table is causing all sorts of issues right now because it's really, really wonky. Ideally, I would have had a piece of plywood down, but I don't. So there we go, locked in. And the bottom's locked in, and I usually have a little plate down there just to make sure it doesn't move. Other what I'm doing over there. And let's see where I can put you. Give me a second. There's a latency between what's happening on my camera and what's happening on my on the video. There we go. All right. So now we have this small section here, and it's going to connect into this carved out bit. And sometimes this section clicks in like a breeze, and sometimes it... All right, now I'm gonna bring it around back. And maybe set you up there. Sorry for all the movement. It's a big model, and I want you to see as much of it as you can. Okay. I also apologize. I'm just getting used to new technology. I just got my first smartphone yesterday, which is enabling me to do the live stream. So if you have any advice, please let me know, because I am all ears. Well, I don't know where that piece came from. Oh, I see. I see. There we go. Okay. That's another piece that's going to be glued up for sure. So while I'm doing all these test fits, to find out which pieces are going to fail, and then I know which ones I have to glue. So there's the back door. I hope you guys can see that well. All right, and now we're on to the two towers in the back. And the solarium part. So let's put you over here and you can see what's going on there. All right, so the two towers fit on either side. And again, just some Technic connections. So on the back of this, I really needed like a crazy angle. It was definitely not straightforward. I can't even remember measuring or what that angle was when I measured it. But I used some stoppers back here and then some mixel joints to get in the actual angle that I needed. Because these slide in on such a crazy angle coming into the rest of the building. Let me tell you, there was nothing simple about this design. Like every corner was another challenge to tackle, which I loved it for that. But it definitely made it for a very complicated design process. So then this piece has to slide in to there. And again, we have this big gap, but that's due to the table angle. And then that just slots in like so. Now, I'll bring you back up and then we'll do the roofs. There's a good picture of the front for you. Okay, so then we have this section, which is my favorite section of the entire build. I absolutely love the way that the roof just settled in perfectly, and the angles just worked gorgeous. All right, so leave that one there, and here is the big flat section of the roof. And we've already, yeah, this table's causing all sorts of lovely issues right now because it's pulled everything out. So I'm hoping, I have a friend who's a woodworker, and he's going to be cutting a piece of plywood for me because, yeah, this won't even jam together right now. It's got a huge gap right there, but I'll keep going anyways, just so you can get an idea of what the mansion looks like when it's all done. this roof slots in, and it might not fit so well because it kind of needs everything to be squared up, and nothing's squared up right now. Very gentle. Yeah. Yeah. This isn't working out well. We're almost there. We're almost there. And then this roof. And a couple small sections. Well, that wasn't good. But easily fixable. So I had just taken this up to a public viewing at the elementary school. And I'm going to bring it over here and fix it. So while I was driving in the car, it got jostled a bit in this section. Must have loosened up a bit. There we go. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. And this leaves this open so I can show you. There we go. Hopefully the camera will catch that. So this is the archways and how they were constructed. So I have the 1x2 rounded plates on either side. And then I have the bricks with stud on a side, or stud on two sides. And then some rounded, I don't even know what they're called. The 1x1 with the rounded tops to them so that I get the curve that I need. And then you can form these into whatever kind of shape that you want. And that's locked into place. So this set of stairs goes on the inside. And that slides in. And the carport slides in. Maybe. Alright, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to take you on a bumpy ride. I'm going to run around the... Do I have any suggestions for a Lego car? Sure, what kind of car? I'll tell you, with Lego cars, with any vehicles, start with the tires and figure out how long the wheelbase is, and that will give you the scale of the car. So if you're doing something that's like minifigure scale and you're using small tires, then go to the actual car that you're gonna make a model of and figure out how long that between the tires is. Place those tires that many studs apart. You figure out your scale, obviously, and yeah, and then start from there, and then you can work on shaping and all of that. When you're doing cars, it's really important to get the shaping right. So I'm gonna take you on a little tour. There's a few details still missing, but they're just minor things. But here we go. All right. So start at the entrance. try to keep the light out of your face, and I'll bring a light down with me so you can see underneath. So there's the main entrance to the building, and I don't know if you can see in this side, but there's a little side door in there as well. And then we're gonna come around to the carport. Good. And then in there you can see that there's a door to the main tower, and then a window inside, and of course the light going up. And then we're on to the side, and we have a little tiny door up here. I'll pop up the light a little bit so you can see that. I don't know if you can tell. There we go. There's that little door in there. And then we have all these details along the side. And of course the round out. And then to the back of the building, we got the back entrance and one of many, many, many fireplaces. A lot of kids were asking how many fireplaces would be in the building, and I have no idea. Probably like a dozen, I would think. And then we got the twin towers. And then this crazy angle in here. And this is the elevator shaft. They had to put it in due to safety reasons and all that, because it is a university building, and or for accessibility. So unfortunately that kind of ruins that face of the building, but it is what it is. And then we come down to the porch area. And there's another door in there. And then this is probably one of my favorite views. I love connected. It's not the case with really complicated shapes, but it worked out perfect. Now we're back to the front. So there we go. A Toyota Corolla. I don't know. That's the best advice I could give as far as like figuring out exactly what you want for the shape and stuff for that car, is first to get the scale right. So that is the wrap, guys. Does anybody have any questions about the actual build or anything like that? Because I am here right now to answer anything that you have. I guess that's it. All right. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed a quick look at the assembly of the Brookside Mansion. If you're going to be at Brick World Fort Wayne, I will be there with this, so I hope you stop on by and say hello. And my teammate Norman, who's on the chat as well, is going to be with me, and it's actually the first time we're going to meet, so it's going to be awesome. Yeah, until then, have a fantastic day. Keep dreaming of bricks. Bye-bye.